welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie and this is my second video. I like to make my videos a little unscripted because that's more human nature. We are not perfect and my videos shouldn't be perfect because I want us all to be feeling confident that we create, and you can see my glitches because we're human. And one of them that I want to talk today a little bit about are stamps. Now, I've seen a lot of videos online how to make little stamps, and I'm totally in love with making stamps. I think it's a great thing. I love watercoloring with my little stamps, but how do we get to these little stamps? Is it best just to use a simple scissors? Is it best to just use a Cricut? I keep calling it Cricut machine, or do we use a die cut like this? Now I'm going to tell you, I did have an Anna Griffin Mini Empress I bought on Amazon used, and I broke it. I really broke it with this heavy metal die cut, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'll actually even use this because I like making single little ones. So I returned it. I have a big machine here, the Sissy Big Shot, which is for me too big. I'm gonna have to sell it and buy something smaller because it's just not worth my time having something heavy and big and clunky. So let's talk a little bit about this. And at first I wanted to show you the scissors. Now the scissors do a really nice job of cutting. The only thing it doesn't do is do the nice little die cuts. The die cuts are great because they have these scored in, and it makes it really a nice scored in die cut. But can I do this with my little Cricut Joy? Or is it best just to use my little scissors, or we'll use this big machine? And then in the ultimately, you know what? We all have to determine what works best for us. So let me just cut one with this. And I don't know if you're like me, but I have a ton of scrap, and this is a stain on it of paper. And I usually cut it with smaller paper. But the great thing with these scissors is I can take them anywhere. I can cut anything out that looks like a stamp, and I really don't have to think about it. And it does a really good job. It's quick. I can cut out. Okay, that's maybe invert. No, that's not even. I have to be careful how you cut it out. But you know what? Doesn't matter. And voila, my stamp is done. And I think it's just great. And I use the scissors a lot. So let's start with the different processes of trying to do this without using the scissors. So let's go back and try the Big Shot. Now again, I'm going to have to sell this one and buy a smaller version. It's just too heavy for me. So let me move everything to the side. Swoosh it all to the side. I'm going to carry this. It's really heavy and I have it on the floor. You can see I still have my label on it. But it is good because I got the one with the metal on the bottom, and I think there's another portion of this that I need this. Actually, I don't think with the metal one I needed it comes with one of these plates, but I don't think I really needed it. So let's try it without. So what's great with this one here is it's so big that I can just cut probably multiple ones, but we'll just do one for now. And I have the magnetic one. Actually, I need to put it on a plate. You can tell that I'm new to these machines and I don't use them much, but you put one plate on below and then you stick this on here. And I'm just going to use some of my paper that I have. I stick this on here and then I just stick it through, and now I have the handle on the wrong side. Move this out. I should just turn this around, and let's see if I can get this through. And you can see it does do a good job. Ooh, it's tough, and my whole table moves around by doing this. but it does cut it out. Ooh. And it's done. So let's take this away, and I'll just show you these samples here. So it does bend the plate. It's big, and again, it hurts my hands. And then, but the nice thing is, you have these wonderful little stamps when you're done. And the good thing is, you can do a lot. You just pop them out, and you have a ton of little stamps, and you're done. And you can see I have a ton of stamps, and I'm ready to go out, and I can stick them in my journal and all of that. So let's go on to the next one. So let's talk about the Cricut. I have the little Cricut baby here. It's Cricut Joy, and I like it a lot. I use it quite often just to do little test runs, and I have this one here. I can stick it in. The downside with this one is that you need to put it on a program. You need the program to cut a stamp. So let's just go in here and pretend like I use my iPad majority of the time with my Cricut. So let's just go in here. There's probably a glare in here. Let me just open up the app. I have the iPad Pro 2022 because I do a lot of digital stuff. And let's go in here and open a new project. Oops, replace. And the good thing is I do have the, I did buy the Pro for the year, the subscription, but I don't think you actually need a subscription. So let me just put in stamp. And a whole bunch of different stamps come up. So let's just say I want to go use anything that they're perforated kind of a thing, edge. You can see there's 1,000 stamps on here. I think I used this one here, but you can go through and just see which ones that you'd like, and you can create your whole sheet yourself. So let's just pick one. There was one earlier that I saw that I thought was nice. We're not going to use one with an image, because clearly we want to just draw. So let's say I wanted to try, we wanted a full. So one of the things you have to be careful with is when you want to do a cutout with the Cricut, you want to make sure it's black, because otherwise, if it's white in the middle, it will cut it out. So here's my stamp. And then I'll take the paper. Let's push this up off the side a little bit. I'm going to bring this in a little bit. And what I love about this baby machine is that I can stick a piece. Now, I've never done it on this. We'll test it out on this really hard surface paper, on this watercolor paper. I can just print it out here. And we'll go in here. Okay, and then what we do now is I go in here, I click on make. We don't save the project because I'm just doing a test. I'm going to do it on a mat and confirm. Okay, and you can see it's cutting. That's now we want to, yep, it has to connect. Try connecting. It has to take a moment to connect. So that's the bad thing with using a Cricut. Everything is machine driven, and it failed. Did it fail? Oh no, it didn't. It does a pretty good job. So then I go to my supplies. You want to use a fairly hard cardstock. I don't know if the Cricut can do a very hard cardstock, so maybe I should heavy cardstock. It usually does a 110 paper. Let's just see if it does watercolor paper on here. We'll just, oops, have to go back. Sorry about that. So it does cardstock, paper, laser, plastic, vinyl. Oh, I keep hitting my hand. Okay, paper, paper, paper. and vinyl. So I am going to use still, let's just try it on, will it cut it out on this heavy? It should be really 110, but let's just try it and see what happens. Load fine point, upload. Okay, it's thinking. It's thinking. So you can already tell that this process of my Cricut is takes a much longer time, and it takes time to think about it. And it's not doing anything right now. There it is. Okay, go. So will it print? Okay, so now let's see what happens when I print my stamp out. Okay, it's doing it. Oops. I did not cut, you know what, I needed to tape it down. But this is a classic example of why it is most simpler to use this, because let's see if I can keep pause. Now I just probably ruined my little mat. It's okay, I have another one. So this mat isn't as sticky for this paper. So let's cancel this out. I wonder if I can upload. Pause. So let me just redo this. Now this paper is thick, and you can see it does actually do a pretty decent job, but what you need to do is you really need to secure your paper down, and you might have to actually tape it down because it wasn't. And this is what's good about YouTube. You can actually see my glitches, because then you can make your own determination. Now let's try it again. I had to wash this because I was using black paper. I might have to tape this down. So let's try it again. Upload. Let's see if I can do it again. Go. Let's see if it now prints it out. If not, then I'm gonna have to tape it down. Or maybe I'm just using too thick of a paper. And that definitely takes a lot more of your time versus just using these die cuts or your scissors. But it is working. It's cutting it out. And it is done. Okay. And let's close out. And now you can see this one here. We'll just close this up. Put this to the side, and now you can see, okay, it did a nice job cutting it out. It did actually cut out my heavy watercolor paper really well, and now we have it. The only bad thing is that it doesn't have these perforated little things around here. So the question will really become a personal preference. What does one like? Does one like something with a perforated border? Do you just want to use your simplicity of just using scissors? Or do you want to use a die cut, kind of like with this nice cut on here? What is your preference? And I will tell you what my preference would be. I think I like the die cuts. However, I don't like the big die cut that I have because it's just too big for me. So maybe I have to go on an adventure and find a smaller one. I don't think I need an electric one, and I don't think I need such a big one for the kind of die cuts that I just like to do. But in the meantime, you know, you could just use your scissors for your quick projects, and that's what I'm really about, is simplicity. on this channel is finding ways to do things simple so you don't spend a lot of time figuring it out. And that's what I love about the little Cricut Joy. I can just plug it in and do a cutout. I have the maker for big projects, but for small little ones I can just simply use that, especially for my little journals, because I have gone small on my journals to just field notes because I just less intimidating. We'll talk about journals in another one, but the nice thing is, you know, you can stick this in here. You can do whatever you want with your little cuts, and the scissors work fine. So thank you for listening in. I hope this was interesting.